Alrighty, my friends. Just had to plug in my headphones once again. I totally forgot. We're just cold freestyling right here, right now. Okay, that I want you to know this. So I want to bring some important news that I stumbled upon here. Make sure you follow this person on Twitter. I don't know if it's persons, percents, man, female. I don't know, but they do great work. In case you missed it, RSS feed. RSS is like some kind of reader app, website. I don't know. But this, I don't know if it's a robot or what, but I'm thinking it's people at ICYMIRSS feed news and commentary that you may have missed. Definitely follow me at Omar underscore SX3. I'm on Twitter. You can see me right there in a tuxedo. Oh, because you know you're about to party when you wear the tux. Fucks with the tux. FUX. Don't tell YouTube I'm cussing over here because I'm not. Donald Trump bypasses Congress to give U.S. $20 billion to farmers hurting from U.S. China trade war. And this is from the South China Morning Post. Turning to obscure 1940s law, President Trump seeks to shore up support in rural states ahead of 2020 election. That's why he did it. Move resembles strategy Trump used to shift millions of dollars meant for U.S. military to pay for sections of his border wall. So there is a farmer. He's using his shovel to move corn inside a trailer during a harvest in Buda, Illinois. You might hear the train in the background because I live by train tracks. Not right next to them, but down the street. Don't judge me. All right. Moving to offset the impact his trade war has had on rural America, U.S. President Donald Trump has bypassed Congress to send some $20 billion in aid to farmers, mostly going to a bundle of states that are essential to his re-election chances next year. The payments have ranged from as little as $2 for some small-scale farmers to more than $1 million each for some corporate agricultural enterprises. Big agro. That's another monopoly, I guess. Almost a monopoly. You can say the agricultural, just like the pharmacy, it's a cartel. The oil, the gas, that's a cartel. The agriculture, the vegetables, the fruits, that's a cartel as well. So you better learn how to farm. Learn how to plant a seed and make it grow, okay? Just for your own good. Anyways, to sidestep Congress, which has long considered price supports for farmers is exclusive domain, the administration cited an obscure law from the 1940s that was passed in the aftermath of the Dust Bowl and the Great Depression. The Dust Bowl. A lot of people went hungry. The Dust Bowl. Subject that to Google. Know your history. Until Trump, no president had ever used the law to make direct payments to farmers, let alone tens of billions. Just gonna blow that up real quick. I'm checking my time. The strategy bears some resemblance to the one Trump used to shift millions of dollars that Congress appropriated for the military to pay for sections of his border wall. So Trump, slick wise, shifted millions of dollars Congress appropriated for the military to pay for sections of his border wall. Thank you, taxpayers. U.S. taxpayers. Unlike the border wall money, however, the farm aid has not drawn challenges from Congress, perhaps because Democrats have their own political reasons for not wanting to oppose help for rural areas in politically important states. The payments are likely to reach nearly $25 billion by early next year, making them roughly twice the net cost to taxpayers of former President Barack Obama's car industry bailout during the recession of 2008. Even so, they may fall short of fully covering farmers' losses from the trade war with China or fully mitigating the political fallout Trump has faced in some Midwestern communities. It is not that farmers are in open revolt against Trump. Surveys and interviews suggest Most are sticking with him and hoping for the best, but the trade war's impact, especially the uncertainty about future policies, could dampen enthusiasm come election day next year. Turnout is the key question. Are they just going to stay home or are they going to vote for Trump? Asked Catherine Kramer, a political science professor at the University of Wisconsin who has researched rural attitudes and the political and cultural divide between rural and urban Americans. If farmers feel too pinched by the trade conflict, the greatest impact will be a lack of enthusiasm, and they'll stay home and not vote, which could make a huge difference, she said. For farmers, the cost of the trade war can be measured in lost markets in China, which has been by far the largest buyer of the soybeans and other grain crops that are the lifeblood of agriculture across the Midwest and the Great Plains. U.S. sales of soybeans to China exceeded 14 billion in 2016, but prices fell as trade tensions mounted. Soybean exports to China plunged to 3.1 billion last year. Damn, so that's a big difference. In 2016, 14 billion of sales, and last year it was 3.1 billion. So of course Trump's gonna be like, hey, here's some money you can borrow, pay us back later. It's like basically bribing them for them to vote for him. Like, Trump, what's up? Hey, bribe us with some housing over here in Cali, some affordable housing. Vote for Trump. You can have everybody voting for you. But we're on the West Coast. We're in California. Trump don't got too much love for California. We didn't get him in. Israel did. That's another subject. You don't like it, don't like it, whatever. Alright, so early last month, Trump announced that he and Chinese President Xi Jinping would soon be signing a Phase 1 agreement in which China would buy $40 billion worth to $50 billion worth of U.S. farm goods a year, about double the annual amount before exports to China plummeted last year. That hasn't happened, and some farmers say they are wearying of Trump's on again, off again rhetoric, with its still unfulfilled promises of an imminent end to the conflict with Beijing. Some farmers worry that China is developing new supply chains in Brazil, Argentina, and elsewhere that may be hard to break even if the trade war ends. Scott Henry of Nevada, Iowa, a small town roughly 64 kilometers, about 40 miles north of Des Moines, backed Trump in 2016, and the 29-year-old third-generation corn and soybean grower has not given up on the president yet. Neither is he certain to vote for him. Trump has done just enough with tax policy and business regulations to keep people supportive, he said. But, he added, I have no confidence that we'll actually get anywhere on trade. What we've learned is that there's a lot of talk from his administration and very little action. And here you see some soybeans in a field on Hodgen Farm in Rochdale, Indiana on November 8th. Photo credit Reuters. Trump has bought some votes from farmers with the added farm spending, he said, adding that he is a little troubled by the scale of the expense. Blake Hurst, president of the Missouri Farm Bureau, said he was very pessimistic about any progress being made on trade. So I think the conditions will be there for another round of aid in 2020. Politically, I'd be surprised if we don't get some attention next year. In launching the new payment program, administration officials used a truncated rulemaking process, said Jonathan Koppes, an expert in agricultural law at the University of Illinois. That has raised concerns about the administration's legal authority and methodology. Trump justified the spending by claiming that he was using tariff money collected from China to pay for it. But U.S. importers and American consumers, not China, foot the bill for tariffs on Chinese imports. Let's repeat that. U.S. importers and American consumers, not China, foot the bill for tariffs on Chinese imports. And the cash payments to farmers actually come from taxpayer funds through the borrowing authority of the Commodity Credit Corporation, acknowledged Richard Fordyce, the Department of Agriculture's Farm Service Agency Administrator. So this money that's being loaned to these farmers, about 20 billion, is a loan from us, the taxpayer, and the where did we say it was? It was the importers, the people importing this stuff, because they have to pay a tax on importing whatever they're bringing in to sell to us. So the price of your life is going up, everybody. It's not just inflation. It's greedy stuff. In an interview, Fordyce said the administration moved ahead of Congress because it saw the need and wanted to respond directly to the impact from retaliatory tariffs, because China is also taxing stuff we're importing there. This is the whole why they're not selling as much soybeans. Trade wars. No, it's a global slowdown. Everybody don't got money to be buying all the soybeans and soy milk in China because they're not doing so well over there right now. Same as over here. Getting ready. Save up your ducats. The payments are coming at a time when the farming years are very cyclical, he said. These payments are coming at a time when it's critically important for them and their farming operations. Even before Trump launched the trade war with China in 2018, many American farmers were struggling. Total net farm income dropped in 2014, and every year since, farm bankruptcies have been rising. Taken together, federal subsidies may end up accounting for roughly a quarter of the nation's total farm net income this year, agricultural experts say. The problem was partly a farmer's own making. The industry had become so productive through the years of automation and consolidation that it was yielding larger and larger supplies, yet domestic demand was not keeping up, creating surpluses that have led to lower commodity prices and profits. It's the export market that helps rebalance supply and demand, said Chad Hart, an agriculture economist at Iowa State University. He would know, he's an agriculture economist. The export market that helps rebalance supply and demand, it wasn't there. The problem, because the farmers, they became so productive through automation and consolidation that it was yielding larger and larger supplies. Domestic demand was not keeping up. That's how it goes. Economics 101, folks. Undoubtedly, Trump's cash injection has been important and life-saving for some farms. Excuse me, folks. Without it, Ron Moore, 63, reckons he and other farmers would be driving their tractors to Washington in protest as they did in 1979. The Chinese really like our soybeans, but we were told they can't buy any soybeans from the U.S., said Moore, a farmer in Roseville, Illinois, recalling his visit a year ago to China where he met buyers. After 42 years of farming, banks and other lenders are starting to lean on him, Moore added. They never used to ask me what my grain sales were. Now they're asking, how many contracts do you have? What have you sold? Helpful as it's been, he said, Trump's aid absolutely hasn't made us whole. So there you go. It's not even really helping. At the end, Mr. Farmer, he's like, yeah, at the end of the day, we're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Hasn't made him whole. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. Subscribe to me on YouTube, on Twitter, man, at Omar_SX3. I'm also on Minds.com at Omar_S. That's it. That's me, the guy in the tuxedo. Next time you're gonna see this nice and right, because I didn't do this right here. Anyways, forget about it. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Catch you on the next one.